Okay, students, welcome back. This is the third video in the series, so we're going to call it 21.3.3. This is where I'm going to work examples 1B, number 3, and number 4. So please make sure you have paper, pencil, calculator, and every time I say pause the video, you pause it, you work it out, and then come back to the video to see if you did it right. All right, so let's get started. We have right now question 1B, and for question 1B it is going to be, let me see if I can write this. Okay, x squared plus 16x plus 64. All right, so pause the video, see if you could solve it, and then come back to the video. All right. As always, we want to start off with A, B, and C. So here we go. A, B, and C. And A is going to be positive 1. B is positive 16. And C is positive 64. Since A is equal to positive 1, we know we're just going to work with that 64. All right, so we could do all the factors of 64, but there's only one factor that's going to get you 16. Now, yes, I could start with 1 and then move to 2 and then move to 3. Well, 3 won't work. Move to 4. 4 won't work. Well, no, 4 won't work. Move to 5, to 6, to 7. But really, the one we're after is 8 times 8. Everything's a positive, positive, positive. 8 plus 8 is 16. That gives me my check. So I come over here and I say, all right, so now I know it's x plus 8 squared. And that's my final answer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw I'm done with this example line. Now, for question 3, I want you to consider the fact, and I'm going to try to change my color here, that when we're working question 3, you have a 2, but notice the variables. That's a cubed, plus 12. Again, notice the variable. It's squared. Plus 18. Last one. Notice the variable. So what I would like you to do is think about what we did in our second video, for example 1A. If you need to, go back to page 2, and it's slide 2, and it's 1A. Actually, I take it back. Is it slide 2 or slide 3? It was actually on slide 3. So go back to the previous page and look at example 1A. Put me on pause. You attempt the question, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so as always, we're going to start with A, B, and C. So here's A, which is positive. Oops, take that back. A, which right now is 2. B, which right now is positive 12. C, which right now is 18. Okay, hopefully you could see the GCF. The only thing common in all three of those numbers, other than the number 1, is the number 2. So I know I'm going to have parentheses, and I'm going to factor out the 2. But then I say, wait up a minute, look, 1, 2, 3 y's, 3, 2, 1. The lowest one is y to the first power. So I could actually factor that out as well as a GCF. Now, what do I multiply to a 2y to get a 2y cubed? Well, there's only one thing, y squared. What do I multiply to a 2y to get a 12y squared? Well, it would be a positive 6 with just one y. And what do I multiply to a 2y to get 18y? Well, then that would be a positive 9. Boy, they're recycling this one, ain't they? All right, so we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and factor everything out and see what we end up with. Okay, hopefully you can see it. It just jumps out at you because we've seen it like now 2 or 3 times. And you're thinking, I know these are special products. So this is going to go away. This is going to go away. This is going to go away. Now A is equal to positive 1. B is equal to positive 6. C is equal to positive 9. So you want two things that are the same that multiply together to give you 9. And when you add them, give you 6. All right, so hopefully you figured it out. And here we go. Well, I don't even need to do this anymore. Let's erase this. Let's just jump straight for the answer. So we have 2y, parentheses, y plus 3, close parentheses, squared. There's my final answer. All right, last example, which is example 4. If you'll do me a favor, put me on pause. And z squared minus 20z plus 1. And put me on pause. Go ahead and you give it a try and come back to the video and see if you got it right. All right, so here we go. First things first, got to find A, B, C. So let's give it a whirl. Here's A is a 100. B is a negative. B is a negative 20. And C, interestingly enough, oops, that's not the figure I wanted. And C is positive 1. All right, interesting. Do you see that it looks like the rows have reversed? Instead of A being 1, positive 1, C is positive 1. Interesting. So I want to work with two things that I know will multiply together to give me 100. That when I add them together, it gives me 20. But I can only use 1 and 1. Oops, shouldn't have done that. I can only use 1 and 1 for C, because the only way I could get C to come out is if I have a 1 and a 1. So, what do we do now? Have you seen it yet? Did it jump out at you yet? See, I want C to be positive 1, but I want B to be negative. And according to our old rules, we would make both of these a negative. So now we come over here and we say, wait up a minute. 10 times 10 gives me 100. And when I add 10 and 10, I get 20. So it looks like we might be onto something, so let's give it a try. So I want two things that multiply together as a perfect square that give me 100z squared. So that's going to be 10z along with another 10z. And over here it's going to be a negative 1 and a negative 1. So we have 10z minus 1 and 10z minus 1. And when you multiply the farthest two away along with the two closest together, you do get that negative 20. So let's go ahead and write this guy as their final answer is 10z minus 1 squared. Difference of squares. Difference of squares. All right. Thank you for watching. Keep working. Work hard.